Elizabeth from Gabriel Family Adventures, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about our stay at the Westin Playa Bonita, which is right outside of Panama City, Panama. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to get to the resort, what we thought of it, and that way you can make an informed decision if you're thinking about where to stay, if you're heading over to Panama for a business trip or a vacation, or whatever the case may be. So here we go. The Westin Playa Bonita is located about 20 minutes away from downtown Panama City, and it's actually on the other side of Panama City than the airport. So if you're flying into the Panama City airport, which is a great airport by the way, it flies all over the world and it's really easy to navigate your way around. And we actually saw our hotel as we were landing into the Panama City airport because it's this big white building with the pools in the front right on the beach. And so you can see it from the air, which was pretty funny. And so as we were flying in, we were like, oh, I guess, that's where we're going and that's how you get there. So I thought that was kind of funny and an interesting way to be introduced to our hotel. What I would recommend doing is actually renting a car because driving around in Panama City is pretty easy. The streets are really clean, the signs are very clear if you speak Spanish, and even if you don't, your GPS will help you, if you have GPS on your phone, will help you get where you need to go. So we rented a car and it's about 15-minute drive or so from the airport to downtown, and then it's another 15 or 20 minutes from downtown to the Westin Playa Bonita. So you cross some bridges and then you go into a little bit of a jungle area. And when you get to the resort itself, you actually have to go through a security gate before you can get to the resort. And so they will want to see your reservation paperwork. So we had to dig ours out of our suitcase. So just keep that in mind, maybe put it in a carry-on bag or something like that. And then when we checked in, our check-in process was really long. They had lost our reservation. And we did book through a third-party site, so I'm not sure if that's why there was an issue, but calls to management had to take place. It was kind of a mess. Even though we had our reservation paperwork with us, which I highly recommend, always print that stuff out, show that it's paid for, show when you reserved it, just in case weird things like what happened to us happen to you. And so while we're waiting, I'm getting a little nervous because we didn't know how busy the hotel was. It didn't look very busy, but in case they didn't have any rooms left, we were given some cocktails, kind of apologetic cocktails, as they were trying to sort everything out, which was really nice. And what's interesting about the Westin is that it is an optional all-inclusive. So you can choose in or you can choose out. It's your choice. And if you don't do the all-inclusive, the rates are really inexpensive. You can get a room for, somewhere around $150 a night, depending on if you get, an online deal or something like that. And so we were kind of on the fence. We weren't sure how often we were gonna spend, eating and drinking at the resort because there was a lot of stuff we wanted to do in Panama. So we got the prices for the all-inclusive package. It was a little steep. I mean, we were gonna have to eat and drink a lot to kind of make it worth our while. So we thought about it. And once we finally got sorted into our rooms and we were traveling with friends, so we were able to get adjoining rooms, which was really nice. We later found out it's because the hotel wasn't really full. And so we went down to go to lunch once we got everything sorted. And the price for the lunch buffet was a little steep. And so we decided to just get the all-inclusive. We said, we're probably gonna have some cocktails each day, some wine with dinner. Why not? So we actually, half of us left the table, went upstairs, paid for the all-inclusive package, and then came downstairs and ate at the buffet, ate our fill, and I think ordered some daytime cocktails because we were on vacation. So think about doing the all-inclusive rate, and here's a tip. And I've said this before in another video, it's something that I have learned over time, and some of you might not like this sort of strategy, you might not feel comfortable, but what we did is when we went upstairs to get our all-inclusive package, we negotiated. Just because the price on a piece of paper is the price does not mean you need to pay that price. And so what my friend and I did, and she's really good at negotiating things, is we said, we lost out on quite a lot of time waiting for, we were worried that you wouldn't have a room for us. Our reservation was lost. This was so stressful. It really wasn't that stressful, but whatever. So we said, we'd love to do this all-inclusive rate. Could you drop the price significantly? And so they dropped the daily rate almost in half, which was great. And we said, there's 4 of us, so we'll be, utilizing this and stuff. And they said yes. So like I've said before, and I'll say it again, it does not hurt to ask, because what's the worst thing that could happen is they just say no and say, you know what, this is the rate, deal with it. So anywho, we got that, we went outside, and Panama City is really gorgeous. The weather is pretty temperate year-round, and you do get these flurries of rain showers that kind of come in, and sometimes you'll get some pretty heavy wind, but it's not cold. So it's kind of that tropical shower, kind of warm weather all the time. It is pretty humid, so if you're like me, your hair will suffer as a result of the humidity, but the whole time we were at the resort, we loved the food, we thought it was great. We didn't go to the Asian fusion restaurant because we actually ended up spending the night like spontaneously at the San Blas Islands, which are across Panama, and I'll link a video below to that because that was a really special experience. So we actually missed a pretty big chunk of time that we thought we were gonna spend at the Westin, but we didn't. So, but we tried the steakhouse. We actually ate there twice, and the food was really good. The wine was pretty tasty. Sometimes all-inclusive wines aren't the best, but it was pretty good, and our cocktails were great. There's 6 different restaurants besides kind of the pool stuff that you can order, and there's also 3 different bars, so if you want to lounge and have some drinks, and sometimes they have music playing, which is really fun. You have all of those options. You've got the big breakfast buffet with the omelet station and kind of, anything you could want. And part of that could be that the Westin tends to serve a lot of business clients, conventions and things like that, like I mentioned before, tend to meet there. As we were getting ready to leave, there was some adult soccer league convention that was rolling on in, and they were all in their cool soccer jackets. So it does have kind of that business aspect to it, and so it's less of a kind of vacation resort, it seemed like, and more of a business destination. And Panama City is a huge business destination. They have very favorable tax policies and things like that. So a lot of business is done in Panama City, and you'll see it because the city is booming. There's construction everywhere. There's these huge, incredible skyscrapers. It's one of the cleanest cities I've ever seen in my life, maybe second to Kyoto, Japan. So I'm really impressed with Panama. It felt incredibly safe, and there's lots to do. There's a ton of history in Panama. You can go to the canal, you can go fishing, there's just lots and lots to do. So I highly recommend checking out Panama City. And I think for the price, the Westin is a reasonable place to stay. If you don't have a rental car, it is a ways away from the city. And at night, if you wanted to say go in for dinner, there is a lot of traffic because it is a bustling economy. So you might want to think about renting a car or possibly staying at one of the hotels closer inside the city. If you have any questions at all about the Westin Playa Bonita, please put those below or share your personal experiences with the hotel, and subscribe to this channel for more adventures in the future. Thank you.